Well, hello. Today is Tuesday, the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. So last Wednesday, Thursday was Thanksgiving. And the story on this video is going to start of the Friday before that. So try not to get too boring. I'm trying to get the whole story in here. Try not to get emotional, all that kind of stuff. But as the title says, how I almost died a week before Thanksgiving. Is that true? I don't know. I would say the doctor said that probably wouldn't have died if I got stuck in my truck for longer than I did, possibly. But I'll explain it and you can make your own judgment. But as far as almost dying, I have never ridden an ambulance before for medical reasons. Uncle's a firefighter, so I've been in an ambulance, but not for my personal reasons. So anyways, a week before Thanksgiving approximately, I went Friday morning. I woke up, went to work. I was a little tired, but no big deal. I'm always tired. But I went to work, and about midway through the day, I started to get a deadline. I was trying to get some lights installed in the ceiling of this auditorium that I've been working on. And I was getting pretty tired. About midway through the day, my father-in-law comes to me, and we like playing frisbee golf together. He's like, "Hey, it's a warm day for winter. You want to go play frisbee golf?" I said, "Sure." So let's get to it. So it's about 30 to 40 minute drive from where I was working to there. And I said, "Yeah." So we drove there, and we're getting ready to play frisbee golf. And I was like, "Man, I'm not feeling very good." But I didn't tell him this, but I was pretty tired, feeling sick. And then when I got out in the cold, it wasn't super cold. It was probably in the 30s, maybe low 40s at the most. But I was just shivering really bad, and I was trying to hide it. But I was cold. So we got all of our discs together, and we're walking to the first hole. And I always throw the first hole. I always throw the odd numbers anyways. Alternate that way. He gets to throw first, and I get to throw first and all that stuff. But I throw the first hole, and it instantly, my chest and my back muscles tense up real tight. Super scary tight. And I was like, "Oh, that's painful." But it's just because I'm cold. So I'll do the little arm rotation, the jumping jack thing, try to get warm. And about by hole 3, I was like, "Okay, I think I'm fine." But I mean, that was weird. And so we played the whole course, shivering the whole time. I probably should have said, "Hey, I gotta go." But I didn't, because I don't like doing that to people, and because it was 40-minute drive, whatever. I don't want to waste the drive there and the drive back. So I'm like, I'm just gonna man through this thing. Ended up golfing pretty good. Frisbee golfing. It's where you take a disc and you throw it into a basket with chains. But anyways, we got done with that, and we headed back to where I was working at, because that's where he picked me up at. And we got back there, and I'm like, "Man, I'm feeling really tired and sick." And I was texting my wife at this point saying, "Yeah, I'm not feeling too well. I'm probably gonna come home, take a shower, get some chicken noodle soup in me or something like that." But we get back to the church where I was working, and I went inside to warm up, started my truck to let it warm up. And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go home now. I'm not feeling too well." So I get in my truck, I start driving, and I'm feeling progressively worse, but nothing crazy. I'm like, I'll be fine. I'll make it home. I'll take some Advil or something, get rid of the pain. But about halfway home, I'm on a bridge going across the interstate from one stoplight to the next. And from the stoplight at the beginning of the bridge to the stoplight at the end of the bridge, my stomach started contracting really weird, started shaking. And then my hands started shriveling up, just like they look like this, just uncontrollably. Muscles in my arms completely restricted, couldn't move. It was crazy. So light turns green, I put it in gear, and I'm able to manipulate the steering wheel across the bridge, and then off to as I get onto the on-ramp, I hit the emergency flashers with my fingertips like this, like a little dinosaur. I was in pain. And then I pull off to the side, and I'm able to hit the emergency brake with my legs. They're still working at this point, which is lucky, blessed. And so I know I need to contact 911 or something, because I am immobilized. My arms are literally shriveled up like this. I'm shaking, my breathing is super labored. My speech is almost not there. So I have my phone on the dash of my truck. Hey, stop looking at the copper here. And it's in the gauges where like you see your RPMs and your miles per hour and stuff, and it's sitting in there. So I'm trying to get my fingers to touch the screen, but by this point I see my hands, and they're purple. They're blue and purple. They've lost all circulation. They don't work. So I'm trying to touch the touch screen on my phone, and it's not working because I have a smartphone, and I think you have to have a little bit of heat in your fingers to be able to use it. So I wasn't having any luck. So I tried saying, "Hey Siri," when I was on the phone, and it was not working. She couldn't understand me, couldn't hear me. So I kept trying and trying and trying, and thankfully I got done texting my wife before I got in the truck to drive home, and so I was able to swipe the phone open, and her contact popped up, and so I was able to hit it, and then I went to hit, I think it was speaker or whatever, and it disconnected because I hit the disconnect button. So I was like, I gotta do this again, gotta try again, and so I was able to get her to answer. She answered super quick. I don't know why, but answered on the first ring. I hit speaker, and I said, "I think I'm having a heart attack. I'm on the Cracker Barrel exit on-ramp. I love you," basically is all I got to say. That's all I could say. I didn't have enough breath. It didn't sound near as good as that. But she quickly, we live with my in-laws right now. They live above us. And so she's able to run upstairs, get my mother-in-law to call 911 while she got the dog put back downstairs and got the stove turned off because she was trying to cook something for me. So when I got home, I had something warm. My mother-in-law, by this point, is already driving towards me. Hey, stop touching that. And she gets to me really quick. Before the fire truck and the ambulance get to me, she gets to me, which is really fast. I'm sitting there. By this point, I'm trying to, excuse me, still got a cough. I'm trying to wave people down from inside my truck. I hit the window button to roll down, and the window rolls down. And I'm trying to wave my hands outside the window, but no one's stopping. On the on-ramp, people are passing me. I have my flashers on, and I'm waving my arms like this because my fingers are all curled up. I'm trying to wave my arms out the window, but no one's stopping. Which, I mean, I don't blame them. I look like a zombie in my truck, probably drooling everywhere and arms waving back and forth with like an invalid, basically. So I was like, I got to get out of the truck to get more attention. So I opened the door, and by the time I step foot on the ground, my legs are shaking by this point, crazy. My upper body is not working. My mother-in-law pulls up, and she instantly comes over and is on the phone with 911 and trying to direct them to where I am. And she gets there before anybody else, like I said, and then the fire truck pulls up, or the ambulance, and they do all the tests on me and stuff, and they think that I'm having a panic attack. I'm like, I've never had a panic attack in my life, and I'm a pretty chill guy, so that was weird. And so they get me in the ambulance, and they get the blood test on, they take my jacket off, and they put all the monitors and stuff on me. Hey, just cut it down. And we're headed to a hospital by this point. So let me get this puppy here. It's crazy. So let me get him situated, that way I can tell you some more story and change the scenery up here. So be right with you. Okay, I'm in a new room and away from the puppy. So as I was saying, I'm in the ambulance at this point. They're taking my heartbeat and my blood sugar and all that kind of stuff. They got monitors on me, and I am feeling awful. I'm sitting there like this, my arms all shriveled up, and just like, am I gonna live type of thing? And I've never had this happen before, so maybe I am having a panic attack. I don't know. So they take the gurney. There's only an exit. The exit I was having problems on was right in between the fire station and the hospital, like one exit from each. So they pick me up. We go to the hospital, and I'm sitting in the intake room where they're bringing in all the people from the ambulance and stuff. Thankfully, I'm the only one in there, but there's a bunch of other people in line trying to get a doctor to see him. They look awful. I feel awful, but I'm like, hey, I don't think I'm dying by this point, so if they need to go first, let them go. But they get me back really fast, probably because I was having trouble breathing and a whole bunch of other stuff. So they get me back in the room. By this point, pain is pretty intense. My hands are shriveled up still. They are taking blood samples and making sure my heart rate is at the right levels, and make sure I'm breathing, make sure oxygen, a whole bunch of stuff that I've never had to deal with before. They put an IV in my left arm and an IV in my right arm. I think they put some fluids in me from the right, and then as soon as they get the blood test back, they find out that my magnesium levels are really low, which causes cramping, which is what I was dealing with. My whole body basically though, which is more than I've ever had in my life. I've had like, you know, you wake up in the middle of the night, your toes cramping, you're like, oh, that hurts so bad. It was like that, except for all over my body, and it was uncontrollable, and I couldn't feel a thing in some cases because no circulation in my hands. So they put the magnesium in this IV, and I start feeling better. They put me on some antibiotics. They tested for flu and influenza and all that kind of stuff. They didn't come up positive with anything, which was a bummer because a couple days later, I went to the urgent care because I had such a high fever for 4 days straight. And they tested then, and I tested positive for influenza A, which isn't fun. I would highly recommend not getting that if you can help it. But anyways, I'm at the hospital. Excuse me. I'm gonna put in a video right here of me in the hospital as soon as I was able to take a video. I was like, man, I gotta take a video. I'm a YouTuber, right? I gotta take a video. So I had my wife help me because I couldn't hold the camera. So she's the one operating it, even though it looks like it's in my hand. So I'll let you watch that right now, and then I'll get right back with you. Hi, I am currently in my first hospital visit that was serious. Hannah's holding the phone for me because my hands are all shriveled up. They think it's an infection or a anxiety, but there's lots of beeping going on and lots of stuff in my arms and other arm, and yeah. So anyways, hope you're doing well. Catch you in a bit. So anyways, that was what it was like in hospital, laying in bed for a couple hours. I got there, I think a little, let's see, what time was it? Like 4:30, and I didn't leave the hospital until 11 o'clock, I think it was. So I was there for a while, but man, it was weird. I thought I was dying, couldn't breathe. Well, I told my wife I thought I was having a heart attack, basically, is what I thought I was having. I'm like, either a stroke or heart attack. I said, I don't know, but I can't speak. Siri won't even understand me. And I can't feel my arms, can't feel my legs. Breathing is super, super restricted. My heart feels fine, but I said, I don't know. But my neck muscles were so tight that I couldn't swallow and I couldn't breathe very well. So they were helping me with that. And they finally got me on this, it's like an anti-anxiety medicine that helps calm your muscles and nerves down. I don't know what it does, but they got me on that and I was able to start breathing again normally, which was nice. So they released me. They said, we could keep you overnight, but we think you're fine and you can go home. So I spent the next 4 days miserable with a fever, anywhere between, I went from a low fever at some points below 98.6 up to 103-ish. So I went to at least 102.7, 102.8, which isn't crazy high, but it makes you feel awful. So anyways, I got released. I came back home. Scared my wife and my in-laws half to death. They thought I was dying. I thought I was dying. But they were there the whole time, so that was very nice of them. But that's the story basically about how I almost died. In the end, it was muscle cramps and influenza A that was affecting me. But it felt much, much more serious. And I would wake up in the middle of the night every night for the last 4 nights when I was sick, just in cold sweats. I was freezing. I'd get a warm shower to warm up, and then the warm shower would make me ill, and I wouldn't be able to barely walk. My wife would have to dress me and dry me off. It was quite miserable. So thankfully she didn't get sick, and we were able to get through it. And now I seem to be pretty healthy, besides being exhausted all the time and coughing and out of breath and all that stuff, but doing pretty good. So anyways, that's the story, and I hope that you weren't bored out of your gourd watching it. It's gonna be a very boring video just watching me sit in front of the camera, but anyways, hope you enjoyed. Actually, I hope you didn't enjoy, but I hope you watched, and I hope you forgive me for not having a video for such a long time, but we are staying very busy with life, getting back on track and enjoying life. I think you enjoy life so much more when you feel good and you know that you almost died. So anyways, thanks for watching. We'll catch you later. Have a good one. God bless.